How's it going? I'm Visionary, this is Visionary Dex, and today we're going to be taking a look at day 4 of card reveals for the Heart of the Huntress expansion. Let's take a look. Alright, looks like it's Spider time today. 8 mana, 5/8, Necrotic Arachnoid. It is a big spider from SI. When I'm summoned, summon 2 Necrotic Nestlings. When another ally dies, drain 1 from the enemy nexus. Interesting. Okay, so, and the Necrotic Nestlings are not like a 1/1, it's actually a 2/2 with Fearsome. That's kind of a lot of value for 8 mana in a spider deck. This is obviously not like a great 8-drop for every deck, but if you're playing specifically a spider deck, or a deck that is like at least partially a spider deck, this is a pretty good 8 mana unit. It's not going to end the game right away. It is kind of slow. It's like, if this had a keyword, maybe it would be good. I feel like this is just barely not playable. If it was 7 mana, it would be pretty good. When another ally dies, drain 1 from the enemy nexus. Like, I don't know, in a spider deck that actually is not the worst, you could probably finish off the opponent with this card on turn 8. If you have any damage left to do, the opponent's already probably going to be pretty low. But, I don't know. This is basically a replacement for Neverglade Collector, who did get rotated, no longer in Standard, so it's cool that, like, this ability is back in the game. When another ally dies, drain 1. I don't know, though. I don't know. I don't know about this one, man. I don't know. It's a little expensive. Just a little bit. Tufted Webspinner, a 2-mana 3/1 Fearsome from Shadow Isles. It is a spider, of course. It's got, like, a little flower. It's kind of cool. Play, if an ally has a different subtype than me, give an enemy -2/-0 this round. Okay. So it's basically just like removing a blocker from the enemy board. It is a 3/1 Fearsome. This does die to Pytos. Is this better than the vanilla 3/2 spider that is also a 2-mana Fearsome? That's the question. There's also only, its ability only activates if an ally has a different subtype. This is not a good card. This is really not a good card. This is definitely not a spider card. If anything, you would maybe like find some weird way to play this in a Warden of the Tribes deck. But even then, this doesn't seem like it's really that good. Like, that's the deck I'd imagine would actually synergize the best with it just to activate that playability. But even then, like, why? Why do you really need to give an ally or an enemy -2 in a Warden of the Tribes deck? That's not really going to help you, like, win the game. I don't know. Like, giving the opponent -2 in a spider deck is a big deal. You don't want to play this in a spider deck. You really don't. All right, Sacred Shears, a 1-mana SI equipment attack. When another ally gains power from Hallowed, so does my bearer. Wow. And it's 1 mana. That's kind of nuts. I'm already just imagining, like, throw this on an elusive. Maybe you have 2 elusives on board. You attack with 1 elusive, and the other elusive also gets hallowed. They just both get hallowed. And the best thing about this is you don't even care if the opponent kills the unit, because it's 1 mana. So you just slap it on another unit. This is actually nuts. This is insane. You play this at least as like a 2-of in any hallowed deck, I think. Just about any hallowed deck would love to play this. Duplicating Hallowed is just such a huge thing for 1 mana. It's like, why not play this card? Why does this exist? This seems like it's way too strong, doesn't it? I feel like this is way too strong. Part of me wonders, would this be good in like an Ornn deck? What if you played Ornn with Hallowed? I feel like that used to be a thing back when Ornn was really hard to level. He's a lot better now. But imagine, like, what if Ornn copied this? Because when you play Ornn, he copies an equipment. If he copies this, isn't that just insane? Like, he does so much damage on his own. If he adds free Hallowed to it, it's not even like the regular Hallowed stack. Something else gets the Hallowed stack. Ornn copies it, and you have Gwen swinging, and you have Ornn's giant freaking ephemeral ram. That's a lot of damage. This seems like it might be okay in an Ornn deck for sure. Obviously good in like any Hallowed deck that already exists, and probably some sort of like funny Hallowed elusive deck that just uses this to lethal the opponent with giant elusives. I'm a little bit scared of this card. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit scared. This card scares me. The Swindler's Den. It's about time Bilgewater actually got a new landmark. 6 mana. Your cards in hand have fleeting. I take it back. This landmark's unplayable. When you play a card, draw 1. So you spend 6 mana on this. And then your entire hand gets discarded. This seems just like the expansion of spending all your mana for no value. I don't know. I guess this would be kind of broken just for when you play a card, draw 1. If it was any cheaper than this, even at 5 mana, it would be kind of a steal. But so all cards in your hand have fleeting. The second you play this, your entire hand gets discarded. It should almost be like when you discard a card, when you play or discard a card, draw 1. Then it might be good. The fact that you can just play this and you're just down to like 0 cards in hand immediately because you're probably out of mana that turn. This seems like you can't play it until turn 10. Because you have to have like enough mana left in your hand to actually use the cards that you have. I don't know, man. I mean, no matter what, even if you play at turn 10, you're always just going to end up discarding your hand round end. Then the next turn starts, you have 1 card. Like, how is this playable? In what deck does this make sense? It would have to be a deck where either every card in your deck draws 1, so you can draw 1 from the card, draw 1 from this, and your hand multiplies and gets bigger, and you have more options, or a unit on your board fills your hand somehow. I can't think of a single deck this goes well with. This is maybe a card you play in aggro. Even then, this doesn't seem good enough to play with aggro. I don't know. I mean, it's cool that this card exists. I do feel like there's probably some sort of funny combo you could play. Like, if you just shuffled a bunch of copies of... What if you shuffled, like, a bunch of copies of Warning Shot in your deck, for example? You went infinite with Warning Shot because when you play a card, it draws 1. No matter what card you shuffle into your deck, it draws. This seems like a printer enabler to me. That's what this looks like. This looks like the kind of card that you want to play in a printer deck where you want to be able to go infinite, but the card you're trying to shuffle doesn't draw. Yeah, I don't know. I think there are some ways that you could break the game with this. There's like a very specific type of deck that you need to build for this to actually be good, and it's gonna have to be a printer deck. It's cool. It's cool to have this kind of card in the game, but it's gonna be a challenge to build anything remotely winnable with it. Siren Song, a 4-mana slow Bilgewater spell. Summon a random husk. Grant 1 cost allies everywhere. +1/+1. Wow. That's really interesting. I wasn't expecting to get more husk cards for a long time, especially in Bilgewater. That seems like really solid. This is just like sort of a side grade to Spirits Unleashed, right? Which is the Udyr, deal 1 to everything. This is almost better than that card, honestly. Like, summon a random husk and then grant it +1/+1, as well as all other 1 costs. It's definitely like, it is a lot more specific than Spirits Unleashed, but like, if you're playing a 1-cost deck, which you probably could be if you're in Bilgewater, this is really solid. Okay, immediately thinking Sand Soldiers with this. Sand Soldiers are going to be nuts. Sand Soldiers are going to be off the hook this expansion. I can actually already tell. I guess it's going to be what? Misfortune Azir. Misfortune Azir. You play this. All of your Sand Soldiers have +1/+1. You get a husk. Maybe you play this before you drop Azir, and then Azir becomes like a 2/7 or something. Honestly, this card is like really, really good. Yeah, I mean, I think this is even like playable in aggro decks to a degree. I think all aggro decks sort of need like that one random card they play that gives them like a little extra value. A lot of the time it is just draw. But I don't know, this is sort of in a similar vein to like a cheap-ish card you play that gives you a little bit of extra value as an aggro deck. Pretty good, honestly. All right, 2 mana, 1/3 cat from Bilgewater. Deck Hunter. Manifest a follower that has a different subtype than allies in play. Okay, I mean, as a Bilgewater card, this is not very good. It's got okay stats for something that creates a card in your hand. It's not that bad for a 2-drop. Not that good. It's okay. It's kind of like a cool card, I guess. It just doesn't. It also doesn't make much sense to me. It's a cat in Bilgewater that's like a Reggie. Rejuvenating Breeze. A 5... Oh, no. Don't tell me Ionia is getting another draw card, dude. We do not need a second to place your bets. What is this? Heal your Nexus 3. And draw 2 spells. Dude! It's literally just place your bets, too. They're trying to add more fuel to Karmaset for some reason. They're trying to make Karmaset even more playable. Oh, man. I mean, I honestly don't even know if this card is good. It seems like it's gotta be good, but like, doesn't Ionia have enough draw at this point? I feel like it has to have enough draw. They rotated Deep Med and just replaced it with this. This is essentially the same thing. This is essentially like Deep Med plus Health Pot wrapped into one card. And I don't like it. This is just like, we didn't need this. This is unnecessary. Why does Ionia need to have this? Man, more draw for Ionia. Great, great. All-Seeing Oracle. Yo, it's a visionary. It's a visionary. That's crazy. 4 mana 4/3 from Ionia. Play. Pick one of 3 fast or slow spells in the enemy's hand or deck. Create a Carvings of Divination for it. Okay, and Carvings of Divination is a 1 mana fast speed token, so you cannot main deck it. You can only get it from this guy. Stop the chosen spell. Wow, that's really solid. That's crazy, actually. So not only do you get to like take a peek into the opponent's hand, you get to look at 3 cards. They are guaranteed to be fast or slow spells, which are typically like the type of cards you would want to know if they have. And then you get to create a 1 mana deny for that card. You can create a 1 mana deny for the opponent's deny. And then their deny essentially becomes unusable because you can counter it as long as you have 1 mana. This is broken. This is actually insane. Like, sure, you have to spend 4 mana to play him. So you're essentially spending 4 mana to play Deny as a unit. This is just insane. This is actually insane. He gives you a 1 mana Deny. What's crazy about this, I don't know if this is the way this works, but I'm going to assume this works for multiple copies of the same spell. So like, if opponent has Ruination, and then you create a Deny for it, let's say, I don't know, they're playing P&Z and they discard it, and then they draw another Ruination later, I think you can still deny that new Ruination with this spell, because it's the same card, right? Like, you chose Ruination, so I think this can be used for any Ruination. There are a lot of scenarios where this just, like, saves your butt for 1 mana. It's nuts. And you play him turn 4, like, he comes down so early. This guy is another Karma set card, in my opinion. I think he is a Karma set card, but he's also just, like, better than Deny. Like, I think you probably play this guy instead of Deny in a lot of decks. Oh my gosh, dude, he's insane. But yeah, that's it for today's card reveals. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 5. Peace.